is I just landed from the BIS. So more formally, the blessing for this event are coming directly now from the BIS with all the relevant parties. And we're very glad for our guests around here. So again, good afternoon to everyone. So I landed at 5. Hopefully my speech will be coherent. About 1 year ago, after I came into office, the Bank of Israel has set a long-term strategic working plan. One of its most important pillars was to prepare the effects of advanced technologies on the financial infrastructure in the digital area and explore how to promote innovation in the financial system. Specifically, when I got in, Israel's payments ecosystem was lagging behind in several aspects. So I came from the US and I just couldn't believe there was not even an EMV or a way to do tap here at payments. We've since then taken many steps to advance the system, some that have already matured and others that will mature in the near future. Another component of the program was to think about longer-term implications of technology, payments, monetary policy, etc. In that context, the CBDC project that we had launched shortly after that plan was formulated is one of the most important elements and definitely one of the most interesting. As the economy is digitizing so rapidly, and with the massive changes that the financial system is undergoing, we could not go by without asking ourselves seriously whether the Bank of Israel must issue the money that it provides the general public also in digital form. And if so, how? And what would be the implications? CBDCs are relatively a new concept. While there are some earlier examples, the term was apparently coined for the first time in 2016 by Ben Broadbent, the Deputy Governor of the Bank of England. And that's only 7 years ago. Time in the new era flies fast and advancements are moving fast, which means central banks have to react accordingly. Being such an uncharted territory on the one hand, and with so much at stake in terms of both risks and opportunities on the other hand, it is imperative that we do a good job in studying and analyzing the implications, design choices, and risks. For that, international cooperation is a crucial key element. The Bank of International Settlements has been at the forefront of the research on CBDCs, and its innovation hub has been leading some of the most cutting-edge projects in the field. We are privileged to have had the chance to work with the Innovation Hub on this project, as well as on Project Icebreaker, where together with the central banks of Norway and Sweden, we offered an innovative model for efficient, safe, and accessible cross-border payments with CBDCs. For CBDC to be successful, interoperability is a key element. And this is another reason why it is so important for us to cooperate with other central banks. Benedict, please pass on my appreciation to General Manager Carstens. I just saw Augustine. It feels I saw him. I did see him a few hours ago. So for our joint work so far as well as in the future, but I like to make that statement more formal as part of the speech. Next, Hong Kong has been a pioneer in innovation and a global financial center for many years. And we could not have chosen a better partner for Project Sela than the HKMA. Howard, thank you for coming here today, and please send my gratitude to my dear friend Eddie, although I saw him a few hours ago as well, or more formally, Chief Executive Yu, for the excellent cooperation and openness our teams have enjoyed together. I look forward to get a close impression at the work all of you are doing when I visit the Hong Kong FinTech Week next month. Central bank's jobs description used to be focused on doing economics, finance, market operations, and regulations. You didn't need to be a technology guru, you know. Somehow you could have left it to the side. Traditionally, we view technology as a tool, something we need to harness in order to fulfill our jobs, but it was a sort of a sideshow. The digital revolution is completely changing how we view technology, and our CBDC project is a unique opportunity in which policy and technology explorations go hand in hand. This is part of what makes this topic so fascinating. It has implication. It's sort of combining the nexus, I think, of technology, payments, regulation, and monetary policy as well, and banking. Our thinking about the digital currency must be, therefore, as open-minded as possible. CBDC is not instead of cash, and that is very important for me to state here, or instead of commercial bank money. There are banks here. It is another option for the end user, be it an individual or a merchant, to choose his or her optimal way to pay and to function in the new digital era. We're not just trying to digitalize cash, which, and I emphasize this again, we have no intention to stop issuing, at least in the foreseeable future. Nor are we focusing only on offering a central bank alternative to existing payment systems, which we intend to continue to develop, support, and innovate. Everybody understand? Faster RTGS, connected, faster payments across, those are parallel things that need to be advanced in parallel to CBDCs. We must try to reap the best of both worlds, combined between reliability, stability, risklessness, immediacy, and full liquidity of central bank cash, together with the convenience, efficiency, and innovation that are offered by digital means of payments. And often there's the question, what's the use case for CBDC? And I think I've just articulated, if we can get all that bundle in, if we're able to do that, we would bring real value to households and businesses in Israel and abroad. But as we all know quite well, innovation does not come without risk. Mitigating cybersecurity risk is key to any critical financial system, and if CBDCs are to be successful, we must pay special attention to cybersecurity. The fact that Project Sela focused on this topic in the context of an open and competitive ecosystem of service providers is therefore very important. Around the world, there's recently an ongoing debate following concerns that were raised regarding the effects of CBDCs may have on people's privacy, or on the ability of authorities to interfere with people's economic choices. While I do think many of these concerns were based on misconceptions or partial information, I guarantee here today, although CBDC can never be as anonymous as cash, because that would pose significant money laundering and tax evasion risks, if we choose to issue a digital cash shekel, it will provide at least as much privacy as other digital means of payments. For some payment scenarios, the digital shekel may provide an even higher level of privacy than that available today in the digital payment ecosystem. The main design choices we've taken in this regard were presented earlier today, and we will ensure these principles not only in regulation or procedures, but also in design as well. So we're thinking of that as all along. For example, as you saw earlier, Project Sela suggested a model in which the ledger is run in the central bank, but no one at the central bank has access or visibility to individual balances or transactions. The Bank of Israel or any other authority will never abuse the digital shekel system, and that is very important. We understand trust is a key here. The fact that the digital shekel system would be managed by the Bank of Israel would not limit the public's economic choices in any way, other than what would be needed to fulfill AML policies and the like. At the Bank of Israel, we strive for excellence in every field we operate. Our CBDC journey began a little bit later than that of several other central banks, but we have closed the gap relatively quickly. We have a great team. Some of you may not know, when the MIT Boston Fed white paper and open source code came out, our team found, how would I say, a mistake. Almost a day afterwards in open source. So we have a great team here, which also tells you why open source code is useful. And so I feel we bring a lot to the table, but we have a lot to learn from other teams. Our excellent connections with the central banking community and our ability to share knowledge with others are key and were key and are key in the future for this. Whether or not we'll issue a digital shekel is still an open question. I want to make that clear, as it is the case in most, if not all, other advanced economies. Either way, we remain committed to be at the frontier, and more than that, to support the effort of pushing the frontier in our CBDC explorations, as well as in our efforts to modernize and advance our payment systems in particular, and the financial system in general. As always, we will do this in a sound, careful, and responsible manner. Thank you very much.